Welcome and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Adam Diaz, and you're listening to episode number 19 of Live the Good Life from the podcast studios of Aaron's Wine Chronicles corporate headquarters in Richland, Washington. Today, my brother, co-host Adam Diaz, and I will provide you with some basic information on how to enjoy pipes and pipe tobacco, including lighting your pipe and storing your tobacco. We will guide you step by step through the process of how to load your tobacco and prepare it for smoking. We'll pair our pipe tobacco experience with a delicious California port-style wine and talk about the flavors we capture. Finally, we'll end the episode by showing you how to clean your pipe after you're all done so it's ready for the next time you want to enjoy some pipe tobacco. Episode number 19 is filmed on location at Adam's house. We hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. So let's get this started. Okay, we're here at my brother's house. Today's episode, number 19, is all about pipes and ports. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is talking about, basically, how to enjoy a pipe and pair it with a nice port. We're sitting at a table upstairs in Adam's man cave, and we're going to go through a whole bunch of Pipe 101 stuff with you. Check this out. Welcome, Adam, co-host of the show.
Hello, everybody. And today, kind of a cool day outside, but not overly cold. We decided to go from cigars to pipes. Aaron will get into the port that he chose. Today I have some pipes and a few accessories. So real quickly, not a real big pipe pro, but I know a little bit about it and talked to some folks over the years. This is from Shire Pipes. And a friend actually bought me about 3 of them. Over time, I still have a couple. Big, long pipes, a little work to kind of keep them going. But they're nice once they get going. And of course, with the distance, you don't feel that burn that sometimes you'll get with shorter pipes as they start getting hot. Today, I'll be smoking with this little guy here. And as you'll see, these pipes will detach, and then you can get in and clean them, and we'll get into that later in the show. Here's a medium-sized pipe, kind of the same deal. This thing, you can remove it, and you can get in there and clean. And these items here you can use for
Little pipe cleaners.
For cleaning.
I also brought a couple of pipes. I have a starter pipe. This is kind of a very inexpensive pipe that you might start off with. It's small. Again, it does come off here at this banded area. You can unscrew that and you can clean it, have access to the bowl from inside. And then here is another Shire pipe. Adam gifted this to me about a year or two ago. It came from his collection of about 3 or 4 that one of his buddies gave him that he just mentioned. This is also a really cool pipe. I really like the way the wood print has on it. It's got a bowl that goes up a distance. And one of the things that I noted that my brother talked to me about was when you have these smaller pipes, oftentimes, when you get the bowl too hot, you can actually start feeling the heat, because the heat from the bowl up that stem, it doesn't take long for it to get up to your lips. And so if you puff on it quite often, or if you overheat the bowl with the flame, you can actually start to burn your mouth a little bit. You don't really have that issue with these long Shire pipes, right? I mean, that's kind of a good thing. And I guess there are cons to that as well, though, right?
Yeah. That's true. That's a good point. He's got some other tools here, as you'll see. We're going to be loading by hand, so you're going to pinch tobacco from a bag or a container, and you're going to be putting it in. And this is a great tool here.
Tamper, right?
Yeah, this is like a little. You can kind of just push it down and tap it in. And this is a spoon. This stuff's just to loosen any build up around your pipe when you clean it afterwards. I like to let it cool just a little bit, and then I'll get in and clean it. And
sometimes what I use this for is, you're right, Adam, I will tamp. You'll fill this bowl with your tobacco, and you tamp it down. If you tamp it, compact it too much, then it sometimes is hard to breathe when you're lighting it. So I take this little pointer here, and I'll just put a hole right down the center of it and pull it out, kind of like what we do with our cigars, where we're drilling a hole through the cigar to allow a better draw.
Yeah.
That's what I use this little guy for right here, that little pointer. I just put a hole through it, after I've tamped it down, and it seems to work okay for me in doing that. But this is kind of like your Swiss Army knife. It's very inexpensive. You can pick this up in a kit that you can buy one of these little starters, and it really comes in a nice little leather case here. So yeah,
or even like a little knife here. This is like I don't know where I got this at, but it's a little lighter. So as you'll see, there's a lighter on it, little can opener stuff.
Yeah, it's a corkscrew too,
to kind of scrape stuff out a little bit. But this was like I don't know, this was like someone gave me this and they used it. I think it's something they got at like a tool place or like a Home Depot, but it works. Stamp stuff out. And so I keep my pipe tobacco, where I keep my cigars in my humidor. So if I go underneath here, I just kind of keep it down low. I've had this for a long time. Every now and then, if you want to get some moisture in it and stuff like that, if it's old and drying out, you can take a paper towel, dampen it, kind of fold it up and stick it in there. Some people cut apples and they'll do some funny things like that and put apple shavings in there, and eventually the moisture kind of gets into the tobacco, and sometimes the flavor does too.
Now, Adam, talk to me about the flavored tobaccos, because you can get non-flavored pipe tobacco and also a variety of flavors, right? When you go to these places.
I mean, it's like there's so many varieties out there, and I'm by no means an expert when it comes to it's just preference, A lot of times you can go there and they'll let you kind of check it out and smell it, and you can kind of and some things don't exactly burn like they smell, and some do better than others. The freshness is one thing, that's a factor.
You want to pay attention to it, right? I mean, it starts to dry out.
And basically, so what you're going to do is you're going to load your pipe, and I'll do it right here if we have time. And I don't mind if I make a little mess here on this, because I can clean it up pretty easily. But I get my tobacco and I push it in here. I'm going to try to get it in here. So, and just with my finger, I kind of push it in there, and I'm not pushing it too tight right now, because I certainly don't want it too tight in there. And I want to leave, at least what I do is I like to leave a little bit of open area here. I don't have it so it's a mounding over the top. Right. Yeah. And then it's good to use stick matches or just regular matches. Aaron brought some stick matches. They don't damage the outside of the pipes. Sometimes these pipes can get damaged and start breaking down from those real hot butane lighters. So again, I'm pinching a little bit more in, and I'm just kind of pack it down, and it'll hold a good burn and go longer if you get a little tightness in there. Like I'm up to here now, and at that point, I'm pushing it in by hand. I might get this guy right here, give it a little push from some angles there. And there, I got a little gap there on top, and it's ready for me to take out, and I'll light that here in a few.
Cool. So you've got some pipe tobacco over there. Is that a special type of flavor? It's called black and gold?
This, at the time where I bought this, I believe I bought this over in a Tandem over there in the Yakima area at the smoke shop over there.
Was that when Daniel was working there?
Yeah, it might have been while he was there, maybe before, but no, definitely he probably would have been there.
So that's just a reference to one of our earlier episodes where we interviewed Daniel Martinez, who now operates Cigar Savvy. That was like episode 5, I think, where we had Daniel on and we talked about cigars and pipes.
Yeah, and so it can last a long time.
Yeah, so I have also brought some tobacco. Again, I've purchased these out there at Cigar Savvy in Kennewick, where Daniel now owns and operates that. And he set me up maybe about, I don't know, I want to say 8 months ago or so, with a couple of different flavors of pipe tobacco. One of them is a vanilla cream, which I believe is this guy here, the vanilla cream. And then there's one that's called like a mountain berry type. and they have really good aromatics when you put your head in there and smell them. And then of course they do have a really good flavor profile when you're smoking them too. So it's kind of fun to have different flavored tobaccos that you can enjoy. One thing that I will say is that Adam and I don't smoke our pipes often. Most of the time we're smoking cigars. And once in a great while, and I'm going to venture to guess it's probably twice a year, Adam, maybe, where we'll pull out our pipes, special occasion or something, just to kind of break the monotony of the cigars. But if you can say there's monotony, but no. So this is really kind of the setup that we have here. Again, you've got a variety of different types of lengths and sizes of the bowls for your pipes. You've got various things that you can purchase that are all very inexpensive. These pipe cleaner. Bristle pipe cleaner things that you can purchase that make it easy to clean. And then of course Adam mentioned earlier the way that we light these guys. I'm going to go ahead and also get on camera, you know, how I load my pipe. I'm going to load this big one here. And then, you know, we can talk a little bit more about, you know, the matches. Adam likes to use matches both for cigars and his pipe. I tend to be more of a lighter guy. I like to use, but you can use a regular Bic lighter, one that you would use for cigarettes or something like that.
Those clicky lighters,
yeah,
you know,
the clicky lighters that you light your wood in a flame pit. This is the lighter that I like to use for my cigars. You know, and then as you start to suck in on the pipe, you'll notice that the flame bends down into the bowl, and you start your fire that way. We'll be outside here shortly showing you how we do that. You know, so let me go ahead and move to my pipe, and we'll show you how that one works. Okay, well, we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and load this Shire pipe here. So typically the way I do it is I like to put this guy in the actual bag, and then I simply fill it like this, and I get enough in there, and then I'll reach in with my finger just like Adam did and kind of tamp this down a little bit and keep doing that until I get enough tobacco that the bowl is considered full for my taste, which is nearly identical to what Adam did. I don't like to overfill it either. I like to leave a little bit of space, maybe you know, 1/8 of an inch or so from the top of the bowl. And then once I've done that, I'll take this little tool, this little tamper, I'll pull it out, and I tamp it down a little bit, not too hard. And then I'll take this guy, this little pointy tool, and I'll just stick it right down the middle. And it's kind of like a draw poker for a cigar. And then I gently pull it out. I might tamp it down a little bit, and I'm good to go, because now what I've done is I've entered just a little hole that helps the draw when I'm smoking this guy. So I'll typically take this out when we smoke, and we'll take out our tobacco as well, because, you know, when you're smoking a pipe, you will need to refill the bowl periodically, and you'll need to actually sometimes mix it up it's like a fire in your fire pit. You don't just leave the logs in there. Sometimes you have to stoke the fire or move the wood around in the fire pit. You got to do the same thing with the tobacco in a cigar so that you maintain that burn. So we're going to take these outside, but before we do, we're going to go downstairs and get the port ready that we're going to pair this with. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so we're back. We're outside. It's a cold fall day, and we just got done pouring this port that we're going to pair with these pipes. This one is an Eric Ross port, okay? It's a 2012, and it comes from the Eric Ross winery that's in Sonoma. However, this is a Lodi labeled port because the vineyards that they source the grapes from come from Lodi. But this 2012 port, it's called the Struttin' Red. We bought it a couple of years ago. My wife and I went to Napa and Sonoma, and we got this port. I think it's going to be pretty good. It is a blend of 3 different grapes: Touriga, Tintacao, and Suzao. Now, we've talked about a Suzao port that is made locally by Bartholomew Winery, Bart Fawbush, who's a buddy of ours. And what they've done over there at this winery is they've added a couple of Portuguese-based grapes to the Suzao to make this port. So I think it'll be nice. You can see the color here. Cheers.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's nice.
It's aged. I mean, you can tell it's aged. It's over 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so next step to light this up. Adam, take us away.
You can go ahead and light too. You know, I'm just going to show you these clicky lighters are fantastic for this. Keep it far back. These get kind of close to your finger. Sometimes you want to keep the flame on it. So these are perfect. We'll see if this is full. So getting the burn on there. Have to do it a little bit though.
That's nice.
Little rain. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm definitely getting the vanilla cream notes on this tobacco.
We'll just try a little small match here.
Good stuff. The difference that you'll find with pipes and cigars is that I think you have to manage the pipe more so than you do the cigar.
Yeah, you do.
You have to manage it. You have to, make sure that the bowl is right for every time you light it. Because if it's not, you can sit there and light it, and you have to sometimes mix it up a little bit and get some fresh tobacco where your flame is going. And sometimes maybe you tamped it too hard and you packed it too hard, and you got to loosen it up a little bit with one of these tools.
And sometimes at the point when you have it going and it starts to tighten up a little bit on you and you're not getting as good a draw, it's okay to blow air carefully a little bit back through it to try to get the burn going. So in and out a little bit. At least a guy told me that many years ago, and I took his advice.
One time I blew a little too hard and half the bowl came up. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. So we're gonna sit back and enjoy this, and then we'll eventually move toward showing you what to do to clean your pipe before you store it.
Yeah. We'll certainly be back in just a bit. Well, we are back again, and
you've been having to kind of light a little bit more than me. Once I got it burning, because it is a smaller pipe, and I've smoked this before.
Yeah.
Once I get the burn on this, it just goes.
Yeah.
And then, in your case, if it's a long pipe like that and you're not on it a lot, it's gonna need to be lit again.
Right.
And so with the pipes, it's a little different than a cigar. You can just kind of leave.
Yeah.
And you can take a minute.
Unless it's a windy day or something, you can really leave a cigar for quite a while and come back to it. And
and that's not the case with pipes. I've found, especially if they're bigger ones like that.
Yeah. What I do with this pipe sometimes now that I just remembered, because I don't smoke a pipe very often, is I tilt it towards now that the bowl has been reduced down some and I'm smoking the tobacco, I'll tilt it instead of trying to go up like this. Makes it easier to burn.
Get that fire in there, yeah. And if you have a little pipe or a starter, if you have a starter pipe and you're holding it like this, you're holding it and right away your hand's starting to kind of get hot, burn on it. The pipe's probably kind of a little cheapy one.
But that's the nice thing about these longer pipes, and these are more expensive too, so they're made of a better wood. I mean, I don't know. It looks really cool. Is that mahogany or what? I don't know. Shit. Yeah. Looks pretty nice though.
Yeah. And this feels ceramic,
Yeah, some of them could be made of some other material.
This one, but I mean, it's one of my better pipes. It keeps a burn smoothly for a long time.
I did like the flavor though, and the pairing is going really nicely with this with this port.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's not too syrupy. You know, it's not
No,
heavy.
not real thick and heavy like typical of some ports. Some are lighter than others, but I really like the taste. It's
So
not overwhelmingly sweet, but it has a
On the bottle, it says rich, chewy, floral spices complement the red with just a kiss of sweetness.
Mm-hmm. It's not overly sweet.
Yeah, it's 19% alcohol by volume, so that's typical of a port or a dessert wine. They're usually anywhere from 18 to 20 or 21%, but it's good.
And what's your average bottle of wine typically is about?
A red wine is typically 14.
Oh, 15.
14.5 to 13.8 or 9 to 14.5, 14.7. Once in a while, you'll get a 15%er in the reds. When you go to the whites, they're typically lower. They're anywhere from 9 to 12%. Same with the rosé.
Are stronger.
Same with the rosé, 9 to 12% typically. And then, the ports and the dessert wines are always stronger. They're up to 20, usually around 20% alcohol by volume. All right.
So we'll get toward the end.
Yeah, we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll show you how to clean these things when we're done.
And we're back. And I've just challenged my brother to a game of Russian roulette with a single-shot musket pistol.
Wait a minute.
I go first.
Not fair.
All right, not really. So, let's get back to cleaning. Cleaning is the discussion here. So, we're done smoking our pipes, and we used our scoopers to get them out. My stamper on the other side just scraped it all out. You can tap it. Be careful tapping them on the side of anything hard. You can chip them or damage them, but scrape them out. They've had some time to cool, and so now at this point I'm detaching the section here into two pieces. I've got my cleaners, and so there's a thin hole here, but I'm going to try to clean the mouthpiece here. So you can jam it in the hole here. I'm sure some of you have more experience than others. So it goes in here like this. I'm pushing it through. See, if you look at the end, you'll see the some of the
Residue.
That's the word.
That's the word. Yeah. And I'm still trying to unscrew mine. It takes a while.
You can go in a couple of different ways. Get it in here like this and kind of move it around. So move it around in here like that. Yeah. Pull it out. Look at all the residue.
I like to use two
that I'm getting. And then I'm going to go back to that, but there's the big piece here. That sucker right in there into the bowl and move that around. Nowadays, I don't know, with
like
marijuana being legalized and everything, there's got to be a gazillion tools out there for some of the. Oh,
look at that. That was dirty. That's good. I mean, I'll go back and do a little bit of that, and then I'll go back and get a couple more and continue to do that until I feel that it's been kind of cleaned out. The other thing, for the inside of the bowl, you can almost take like a little scrubby pad that you'd use for a sink, to wash your dishes with. You could take a little, it's kind of abrasive, but not too abrasive, and you could rub the corner of it inside the bowl just to scrape that out if you wanted to do that.
So there's different sizes of this clean.
Yeah. Yours are thicker than mine. Did you notice that?
Well, these are. Yeah. I had a couple small ones from another batch. So I got that going here. And so once I get them in here like this, then I'm able to really kind of pull it in there and kind of move it around. Yeah. And then you can let these sit. You can actually take this and let it sit overnight. And it'll sit there and absorb any moisture and anything that's in there. And so that's something, you can do. Let them sit in there, and then the next day come pull them out. Sometimes I double them up like so, and I put them in there. Move it around.
The other thing I'll do is I'll just take like paper towel and kind of roll it up and stuff it in there, and then just kind of do this kind of thing here, like this. And that's a nice way of cleaning out the bowl itself.
I'm sure. I never really thought to
see that
Google
do that kind of thing.
What people do to clean the bowl out. I don't really go too far beyond just a paper towel, crumple it up, jam it in there.
That's exactly what I do.
Really all I do. I don't put anything in there. I mean, I'm sure there's products out there. Shit. We're just trying to get you to try it, you know. You might like knowing some basics going into it, and then when you have a pipe, at least you halfway know what you're doing. So there you go.
Yep.
And I feel like pretty much I'm done.
That's about all the effort that I would put into it as well. And so now that we're done with this, I basically would clean this off, this little tool, clean it off. This is good to go as far as I'm concerned. This is good to go. I'll put it back together, put it in the case, and I'm ready to go for the next time. The rest of this stuff just goes in the garbage and we're good to go.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
We'll talk next time. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and many thanks to our audience for joining us on Live the Good Life. This was our first episode focusing on pipes and pipe tobacco and pairing it with a port-style wine. It really turned out nicely. For those of you thinking about the pipe experience, the information we provided here should be a great starting point. That's all we have for today's episode. Again, for more of Living the Good Life, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Aaron's Wine Chronicles or online at aaronswinechronicles.com. And for a video podcast version of this episode, visit my YouTube channel at the @ Aaron's Wine Chronicles 6666. Thank you all for listening, and remember, wherever you go, whenever you can, always live the good life. Until next time.